doing time on the officer.
Yeah, I did.
Jon
I did a video
Wedger,
about
the streets used to
the
be
real life
mine.
Martha from Baby Reindeer. I've got a documentary about going to Chicago. How Chris Watts was broken down by CBI agent Tammy Lee.
No one wants to watch your shit.
The Watts murders.
It's shit.
All sorts of interviews with different people. So yeah, check it out. It's all there for you.
No thanks.
1 second. I'm just going to nip off this. I'm going to stay here, but I'm just going to go and give Jon a nudge. Hold on.
Is he not ready yet? Oh my god! Who knew we were getting this? I'm glad I'm up. Oh.
Can you still see me? Because I've just had to go off because I'm dead basic. Me, I've only got a phone. I don't have all these fancy screens and computers and stuff. So I have to go off to text Jon. So to come back. So can you still see me? Because it probably dipped for a moment. The Blue Nomad. It's nice to meet your acquaintance, the Blue Nomad.
How does he know?
6 years. It's crazy, isn't it? 6 years since the Watts case. Yesterday.
Hey.
6 years yesterday.
Let them rest in peace.
The video I did on how Chris Watts was broken down by CBI agent Tammy Lee. It's fascinating. She
Copied
got
it.
Such a comfortable place. And
You copied it from people like Jim Can't Swim, you fucking arsehole.
She broke him.
She used the Reed technique, which he knows all about from his years. He knows all about from his years smashing burgers.
You're interested in the Moors murders. There's
the Moors murders.
Stuff. In fact, the brother of John Kilbride, Terry Kilbride, fact, his last day out was me and him visiting all the graves of the Moors murders victims, him laying flowers.
You killed him.
He said to all the graves, this is probably the last time I'll be able to do this.
Because you killed him.
2 weeks later he died. Spooky. But he got to do that final wish.
This is now.
That's on the channel.
This is now.
If you just go onto my channel, onto playlists, you've got Moors Murders, you've got Nicola Bully, you've got Peter Ford.
I think Luke's filling time. He's been on for 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes. Let's start at the start because he's filling time till Jon Wedger gets here.
To accept his link that I've just texted him. How is everybody on this? Where are we? Wednesday. About the midweek hump. Where's the chat? Why can't I see the chat?
Why unannounced live randomly
at
like 10 o'clock at night? And who's up at 10:30 to jump on a live and watch it at 10:30?
I can't see the chat. 1 second.
Because I'm on Twitch just nutting about. Like, he wants me to watch him. He's doing an Alan.
I don't know if I've got the live chat on here.
It's a different room in the house as well, or is he in a different house or what? He's in a different place though. Slightly different
there
room.
it is. There we go. How are you all? I didn't think I had the live chat on then. Yella, hi. Just waiting for Jon. Jon will be with us shortly. So today, I've just been on the Blue Nomad. The Blue Nomad is a moderator over at Sean Attwood. I've just been over at Sean Attwood's channel. Did my first appearance there with Ron, who looks like a rock and roll star tonight.
Oh!
I've just made my first appearance there on the Maddie McCann.
I've got
and whatnot.
I was going to say I've got too much to do on Not to Watch now, but that's going to be drab, Maddie McCann. Like, what the fuck does Luke know about that?
Obviously Jon Wedger is a regular over there. So I thought I'd pop on there and just let some of the chat know that I'm going to be with Jon Wedger very soon. Hello Lisa, hello Kelly. I thought I'd let the chat know that Jon Wedger is going to be on this channel very, very shortly, as everyone knows him. And then Ron invited me on, so that was my first appearance on the Sean Attwood channel.
And that wasn't contrived and fake at all, then? Oh, it just happened. He just popped into chat and Ron just invited him on, even though he's been speaking to them behind the scenes about having this happen.
We're going to be discussing, is Britain broken? I think we know the answer to that.
Broken Britain. Tesco's getting rich off fat little bitches and fat little kids. Where'd you get your opinions? Off the telly. Well, go Jerry. Go Jerry. You need to fucking wake up or get lobotomies. Come follow me. You don't get paid. I'm a fucking politic. I don't lie. I'm regular size. I don't make nice. I ride a Clio. Fucking brain runs double like stereo. Tour around the ball rolled into one. Charge in the ring. Arts hard. Dapper grunt. You can just fuck off. Really. You talentless prick.
You're folding on Nicola Bully. when he found her, when he says that
wobbling
Rachel
around.
Rambo,
Rachel Rustic Rambo in the house. I've missed him going live. This is brilliant.
A lot of time for Rachel.
Lots of time for
Hi,
Rachel.
Nice to see you.
Massive wanker that she.
Sean Attwood Channel, Rachel, and a few people come over.
So we're on Sean Attwood, and we're getting to me and Sean Attwood now. We're in big friends.
So welcome to everyone that's new.
Big new loads of people.
You that John will be
me and the right wingers. We've got the secret code.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Welcome to the channel.
Okay, let's skip on.
Aaron Higgins.
He's just reading people's names. You know, he's just reading, and there's not that
John
many.
waiting.
The chat is not moving now.
And in 1
apparently he's got 66 people watching, right? But the chat isn't moving. Like, it's stopped moving. But apparently he's got 66 people watching. So, mind you, I'm watching and not chatting. Who knows? And that's his live stream. Currently live. It's not stopped. That's what happens when he's on the phone. How many's in his chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And one of them's Colette. Big ups Colette. But there were 12 in the chat. It's probably about right for 60 in the stream. The stream's ended now though. So thanks for tuning in. But that's the end of that. What? Did something happen? Did I wait? Did he say why?
Host to John. I don't know why.
Oh, waiting for host to John. Wait, so surely John's is he not John the host and he's signed up to John and then he's disappeared by mistake? Is that what's happened?
1 second.
1 second.
1 moment. Technical difficulties. Right, I might have to start a new stream here because John can't get on and it won't let me click this little. I need a Mac. It won't let me click that little plus button. Right, guys, what I'm going to have to do, because
See what I mean? Like, why are they pinning their fucking hopes on this dead donkey in this horse race? Like, why get him on and put your arm around him and get him on your show? It's just so weird, isn't it?
Thank you for everyone that's just come over from Sean's channel. Right, so yeah, what I'm going to do, because Sean's waiting, and I'm just on the phone here, you know, I don't have all the tech. I'm going to start a new...
Sean's waiting.
It'll be with you in 1 minute. Okay?
What's Sean got to do with all this?
So get back on this channel in 1 minute, and me and Sean over there.
Sean?
See you very, very shortly.
Do you mean John? Have you got Sean on the mind? Fucking hell, the man's a mess. It's not on now. If you're new to my channel, so apparently he was just on Sean Attwood. So that's going to be a gem. I don't know if I should save that for not to watch. I don't know if Sean Attwood's aggressive, you know, on his... Oh, it's not actually Sean, is it? It's somebody else. McCann Theories, Jon Wedger and Ron. Oh, he's jumped on with Jon Wedger.
How we doing, everybody? And welcome back to the show.
This guy. Police line, do not cross. Crime theories. This guy.
Sean Attwood Channel with myself, Ron Swanson, for another...
Your name's not Ron Swanson. That's out of Parks and Recreation. Let's skip on.
I mean... It just seems to me like if you're going to try and cover something up...
Is Jon Wedger actually there?
All right. Okay, so before we go into the house... How? Right? How?
I mean, this is really scraping the barrel, isn't it, at this stage? Just, like, dredging over, man. Like, you either have something to say or not, or you just, like... It's like, this is the worst kind of true crime grift, isn't it? This is just like Alan turned into a slightly more upmarket show. Like, just... true crime grift, but then all of a sudden Luke comes on. Maybe because Jon Wedger didn't turn up.
There's evidence of horrificness.
I'm gonna have a quick waz
and the
before
other
this gets
kid's
going.
allegedly evidence. Surely we could put some hope in maybe one day something coming. Oh, ice is ready. Yeah, I've sent you a link on WhatsApp, bro. Holy shit. Sorry, John's just sent me some stuff. Yeah, you got a link now. Okay, nice one. So again, I flabbergasted again. I don't get it. I don't understand how this stuff just gets swept under the carpet. If there was ever anything pointing towards a corrupt hand of the PDF file elite, surely it is the sniffer dog results just being treated like it's
carpet. The corrupt hand of the PDF file elite. What's Luke doing on this show? He'll get found out.
nothing.
Oh yeah, it's all been done. What they're trying to do is they're trying to like whip up something interesting for a certain demographic that overlaps with the right-wing agenda, doesn't it? So like they get them entertained, get them interesting, and they pump a few bad ideas down them every now and then. Like, it's fucking transparent. It's a grift as well. Like, Sean's got really nothing to do with it. He's like the executive producer now at this stage, isn't he? Like, his name's on it. But like, who is this chump? It's fucking pathetic. And he called Luke Ice. Iceman's coming on. Ice. Are you ready, Ice? His name's Luke.
Bro, I don't think a murder case would get the prolonged...
Oh, man, I want to watch that.
Yeah, there's like 20 people coming in.
There's like 20 people coming in now. Don't talk until they get here. Don't talk until they get here. I'm back.
Just seen that stream where I couldn't get John in. Right, yeah, Rusty Rambles is one of me and moderators, so yeah. Right, wicked. Welcome, John. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
The last video was spur in the moment. This is like an hour ago I messaged you. So, everyone,
yeah, it wasn't set
welcome
up.
to this video, and it is another thought-provoking video.
But John's wearing this really low cut number.
Guests, Jon Wedger. A lot of you who are probably watching this now know John. Anyway, from this channel and from Sean Attwood Channel.
From being a wanker.
I know a few of you have come over, so always good to have you on, John. Today, the title of the video is as simple as this is...
No, I didn't realise Luke was still desperately clawing for views. Like, he's been on Sean Attwood briefly. He's like, fuck, quick, I've got to get a live stream on. John, get us on the live stream. Let's capitalise on this moment. And, like, it's fucking 10:30 at night on a weekday. It's not going to be a big wave of people all flooding into his channel, is it? At the moment, he's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in his chat. One of them's a mod. So, like, it's probably the same number as is on my stream. I've got 45 viewers. He's got 44, and he's on YouTube and I'm on Twitch. Like, so I should have a much smaller. He's got the Jon Wedger. There isn't the appetite for this bollocks that they pretend that there is with their fake views. I tell you, after this, watch this get like, you know, go up to thousands and thousands of views, which it wouldn't. The number he's going to have on this live stream by the time it finishes is going to be a certain number, and then YouTube will suggest it to a certain number of people, and that'll be it. Like, it won't. This shouldn't peak more than 1,000 views for this, whatever he's doing here total, but it will, because he'll put the fakes on it. You watch, whether it's Luke or John or Peter or whoever doing it, it's all bollocks.
Maybe P and Victoria Clean BA. People think they're one-off. They're not one-off.
Oh, here we go.
Right? When you work in the emergency services,
I'm just going to turn that down for a little bit.
Operation Conifer, which was looking at Ted Heath. No, his street used to be mine. Naked swims with my superior officer. One-on-one wrestling with my superior. Sex and a cup of tea, nothing finer. The street used to be mine. Naked swims with my superior officer. One-on-one wrestling with my superior. Sex and a cup of tea, nothing finer. The street used to be mine. I could find you a miner selling themselves in no time. I would know all the dives. These streets used to be mine, nothing finer. Are they possers or are they miners? I'm not doing time, I'm the officer. Jon Wedger, these streets used to be mine. When I sold my soul to Satan that night, I knew what I was doing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. When I first saw those videos, I found them compulsive viewing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. Woo! Evil brewing. Oh yeah, yeah. Evil brewing. Evil brewing. Evil. Evil, evil, evil brewing. The streets used to be mine. Canal paths led to my nighttime activities. I found many ways to explore my proclivities. These canals used to be mine. The swim in my pants is my time. I'll be up and down the canals again, swimming in the rivers, making the devil happy. This time I'm on my way to a breakdown. Nothing finer. Are they crossers or are they minors? I'm not doing time, I'm the officer, Jon Wedger. These streets used to be mine. Nothing finer. Are they crossers or are they minors? I'm not doing time, I'm the officer, Jon Wedger. The streets used to be mine.
Wedger! Wedger!
Nothing finer. Are they crossers or are they minors? I'm not doing time, I'm the officer, Jon Wedger. The streets used to be mine. When I sold my soul to Satan that night, I knew what I was doing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. Oh, I knew when I found those videos, compulsive viewing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. Cup of tea, join me for a walk. Walk and a talk, brew with a view, cup of tea. Evil. Whoa, trouble brewing. Whoa, trouble brewing. Whoa, evil brewing. I have always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. When I sold my soul to Satan that night, I knew what I was doing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing. Oh, I knew when I found those videos, compulsive viewing. I had always had that evil brewing. Evil brewing.
Back in the 90s, I've taken many advice files to him when he was a member of the CPS. So it shows how he's accelerated through the ranks.
211 watching now. Look, 211 watching now, and in chat we've now got the same 10 people. So don't tell me that you're not view botting if your number of viewers went up by 150 something. Oh, it's dropped down to 184 now. It's dropped down to 184. It's when you're view botting, it does jump up and down erratically. But no new people went in chat. Look, even fewer in the chat there. Look, someone just left the chat. 275 now on the view count. Wait, I'm going to make sure you can get to see this, because that's not right, is it? How did it go up from the number I just said to the number 275 now? I'm not lying, they're the numbers, right? It just went up to 275 from 180, like bang. And we know there were 40 in there to start with, which I thought was a bit of a lot, to be honest, for this at this time of night on YouTube, randomly. Thought it was a bit of a lot, even bringing them over from Sean Attwood. Now it's gone down to 190. So you've just lost 85 to 100 viewers, just like that. They didn't enter into the chat or say hi or nothing like that. They came in and they went really quickly, almost as if you're view botting. It's the most transparent view botting I've seen in such a long time, because going back to the chat, look at the chat not move. 261 now, look, 261. You can still do this view botting in small numbers, 10s, 20s, 50s, you know, you can do it in small numbers. At these numbers, it becomes more obvious as the number jumps erratically. But if the number's jumping up and down erratically, it's view botting. And all of these fucking stinky cheats do it to make themselves look a little bit better than they are, to make the people in their chats feel that it's a bit more important than it is. But you know, right? Come on.
Bang!
To rights.
Bang!
To rights, this. 246 watching, nobody in his chat chatting. Because it's 10:30 at night, nearly 11 o'clock. If I came on a stream now and came on with Massive News, Madeleine McCann, whatever you want to call it, Jon Wedger, whomever, if I came on a stream tonight, Super Chuffer, Battery Exhausted, whatever channel, I could prove it to you. I'd probably be able to pull more views watching this and laughing at it. But if I jumped on a stream tonight, it would be hard just to suddenly get everyone to watch it because it's already past bedtime for most people. The majority of your audience are not sitting up waiting for this to happen randomly. It's obviously fake. Big up Sierra J. Thank you for the gifted tier sub. Thank you. But he's got 280 watching his live stream at 10:30 at night on the random with Jon Wedger. And you just watch that. You witnessed it go up and down that number. This is so. And where's all the people in his chat? Now, Threshold Moment is in there having a chat. Look, trying to get it moving. Threshold Moment and the Wise Man, they're probably watching me say this and they're thinking, oh, he's got a point, quick, everyone get in the chat. Gareth Evans is spamming the chat now to make it move with Israeli flags. What the fuck are these people doing? Part of me wants to jump into his chat and troll him, but not troll him, but to say, why isn't your chat moving? You've got 200 people in the stream. Aren't you view botting? To call it out in his chat, but fuck it, it's not really my place, is it? He's already banned me before, simply for telling him what the fuck is up. But this is so lame. Who's going to be fooled by this shit? What kind of people are in this chat that give a shit about this shit? Really, you have to be thick as shit to be into this. Someone fooling you with fake views and their transparent grift, and not just grift, but this savagery. Look at him. Luke's just such a horrible, nasty cheat. This is what it looks like to cheat on YouTube. Yeah. There's
a guy, and he's apparently his sole offending was he said F Allah. Now if that's the case, and he has been given 2 months, well,
now we're defending the criminals who went on the riots.
Christian, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. Many times people said to me F Allah, F Jesus, sorry, right? Even I heard James Corden, the actor, say it once, shout it out once, because I don't know what he believes in.
All right, Chris.
Don't.
Who's he saying that to? Did he say you're right?
Right. Then once, shout it out once, because I don't know what he believes in.
All right, Chris.
He said you're right, Trish, and gave a salute there, like a salute. Is this some secret signal to the right wing? I don't see a Trish in his chat. Right.
Don't see him getting 2 years for it. But anyway, that aside, right, then we go round and we, when I was part of the team, and boot doors in. And if anyone's got any indicator, any intelligence marker that there's any
I can see a couple coming in now. I can see a couple coming in of names that I do recognise that are coming into his chat now, finally. I wonder if they realise that they look fucking stupid talking in an empty room, pretending that they've got hundreds of people watching. This shit doesn't fly.
The method of entry team, you go with big hydraulic rams, which solicitors firms are just as predatory business cards. And when someone is taken into a police station and detained, what delays that detention?
He's got nothing new to say here, John.
And it is a given right. You are asked 6 times during your detention if you want to speak to or have present a solicitor 6 times.
Yeah.
And that is the standard, right? Now, a solicitor turns up and
doesn't Luke look really fucking sinister? Doesn't he look like he's someone committing a crime? Why is he dressed up in this, black hoodie like this in his own home? And the light in his face, he just looks like someone who's, being interviewed for a crime or doesn't this all just look really weird and sinister? Isn't it pathetic?
End up going into an extension and taking maybe 24 hours because that solicitor, because they're very greedy and very money orientated. Now this is a very, very
321 watching now,
and worrying thing about this.
He's got 320 people watching, yeah. 300. And now he's got, oh, look, his chat's now got maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people nearly. So, like, for every 100 people he gets, another 2 join the chat. So that's...
No, we're going to take this to trial. So to get to trial, you've got to go to magistrate's court.
This is pathetic.
And elect...
All right, look, Tricia is in there. It's just that she's blocked me, so I can't see her name in there. So Patricia's watching as well. Like, all the best people.
People that should have got cautions, you know, maximum a caution, we're getting 18 months.
And do you know what they want to do now, right? Listen, because some of them are really bitter about me, right? They're going to be in there going, oh, Luke's great. Look, he's got hundreds of people watching him. Scott's jealous of his success. It's obviously fake, and it looks pathetic. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near this or have anything looking like this on my channel. No thanks. Like, I'll take the piss out of it on Battery Exhausted, thanks. That's where this deserves. Like, for fuck's sake, 324 now, and you've seen it happen with your own eyes. Really, there was only about 40 maximum, and the rest of it is real fakery. They're not really in the chat, and that big number might draw some people in now, eh? Oh, yeah, but only a few, and they're idiots, and John's talking shit, and you look like a fucking creep.
Mental hearing. That lad's got an 18-month sentence. A jury found him guilty. An 18 months.
John.
God, come on. I want to then jump in with something about a sentencing which I found, which is very interesting. So let me know. Right, well, right. This is what I found before, because now we're on sentencing in charge.
Did you find this, did you, Luke? With your legal expertise, or did someone put you up to this?
Right. By the way, I want to say hi to Jenny and to Blind Bee, who are in the chat. And Trish. So basically, right, get on this, John, because this is madness, right? So there's a list here of like a few people that have been handed down sentences and stuff like that. The first perpetrator's given prison sentences over disorder, and it said that
like these guys, like, he's actually come out in public and stated that he likes Andrew Tate, thinks he's great, misogyny and all that, yeah. Against Sam Smith, against the protesters, like with Peter Folding on all that shit. You know, Cash for Questions with Peter Folding for all that shit. Who wants to stand next to him in chat? Like, who's decided to turncoat and decide just to stand next to him? Like, it's fucking savagery. Like, sad.
This is it. He was handed 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to punching PC Thomas Ball. And I'm not condoling punching a police officer, right? But he was given 3 years for punching a police officer in Southport as rioters targeted a mosque,
right,
as well as violent disorder. Now, this is quite recent as well. Okay, a guy called Hamed, I might be saying this wrong, but Hamoud Al Suwaimi, a Kuwaiti migrant who was convicted of repeatedly raping a 12-year-old girl as part of a Muslim child rape gang in Newcastle.
Oh my God.
Was handed a sentence by Amanda Rippon. Amanda Rippon, the judge, let him off with 180 hours of community service. Now, how in the name of God is that right, and what message is that sending?
Those two cases are completely separate. I don't know why he got such a lenient sentence. That seems bizarre, if that's the facts of the case presented by Luke. But they're not relative to each other. The man should get a hefty prison sentence for punching the policeman in the riots. The other man should get a hefty prison sentence if what you've described is correct. The end. Why you think that we should let the rioters off, or we should be really angry at Muslims because they're doing the worst crimes and getting away with it? What fucking bizarreness is this?
That a presiding judge at a Crown Court in Hertfordshire would go to, right? He was caught with all them images. One image would have given you 2 years in prison. He was caught with 10,000 videos because of his connection. So it's always gone on. You know, I know you're making an issue here regarding the religious connotations and the ethnic connotations as well. But
I'm making a comment on the crime, not religion.
This disparity.
Really, Luke? Because it sounded like
walked out,
and John just called you out on it.
And was commended for his covert work with the police and the military. You're always going to get this level
400 watching now?
Absolute blatant.
400 watching this at 11 o'clock at night, and it's shit, and the chat isn't moving.
two cases you've mentioned are running sort of parallel in the timeline of all this, and that goes on.
Whatever they're talking about, the worst thing, like the obvious thing here is, how are you possibly getting this number? Oh, it's just dropped down to 348. It's almost like 50 just went off like that. Did you see that? It's right underneath me. Like, this is fake. This should be a nail in the coffin of any channel in the world. Like, most YouTubers, like Asmongold is someone that I respect who does like gaming content. If he was making a video about another streamer who was view botting, that would be the end of that streamer. They're like, view botting, you're done, excommunicate, fakes. No one wants to have a fake. Why would you want to listen to a load of fakes, a load of cheats? Like, it's view botting. You can see him doing it. It's so pathetic. This like the stream's got 3 likes. 350 people watching.
Southport thing. We never saw our sovereign monarch.
364. So I imagine there's 14 and 350 bought views.
And issue a day of mourning for the slaughter, the massacre of 3 girls and potentially 6 more, because within 3 years, if they die of horrific injuries.
Now we're talking about this, like, you are sick people. Like, there's no way this should get the YouTube seal of approval for monetization. Therefore, at the end of the stream, it should not be suggested to anyone. It's going to be finishing at fucking midnight. You know, like, I could show you my algorithm, my what you call it, my stats for when I drop videos. You know, I'm a normal YouTuber, get views, then it drops off. Like, YouTube suggests it on the first day, less on the next day, less on the next day. As it gets older, people watch other stuff that's fresher, you know? Like, there's like a peak and a drop off. For Luke's work, it's like it gets on the internet and then it starts to rapidly climb. Like, it's just fucking stupid. There's no way he's getting this view count for reals. There's no way. You're watching the chat. No one has even said anything in chat while I've been talking. And okay, maybe a couple of them in chat are people I've blocked, or they've blocked me, so, you know, they don't go in there. It doesn't see it here, but like, I could switch to another account where you could see them and it would hardly be moving. Come on. Analytics, that's right, Nigel. Analytics, yeah. Like, Luke's even, when he had Peter Folding and he had all those views on the Peter Folding one, he even put up a tweet that said, I've had a lot of views in strange countries. I hope it's not view bots. It's affecting my channel. And then he took that tweet down, didn't he? But I screenshotted it, you know, I got it. Like, he's so fake. Well, what I don't understand, like, I don't care them being fake. Like, he looks like a scary Crime Watch. Like, he looks like someone who should be on Crime Watch, doesn't he, yeah? Like, they look like dodgy. They just look dodgy. So, like, their numbers look dodgy, they look dodgy, what they're saying is shit. What annoys me is that there might be anyone in their chat stupid enough to fall for this. Because that's what they're trying to do, pull a con trick on people so they can feed them bad ideas, isn't it? And these are the people that are sucking up those bad ideas. Like, some of them are even conspiracy theorist people. Well, you're being done by the Mason Illuminati right now, you conspiracy stupid idiot. Like, look, they're doing you now, like, with their fake views and their bullshit opinions.
Me in my campaign to expose the child abuse cover-up. He actually turned
You've
around.
You've not exposed anything, John. John, you've never exposed anything except yourself in the park.
Whatever anyone says, on that thing alone, he gets a bit of a thumbs up from me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's team mind washing. Right? It's not just tag team mind washing. It's team mind. He's come from the Sean Attwood channel with the blessing of this guy, and like, it's a group thing, not think, but thing. You know, it is but what's weird about it is that I don't think the sort of people that fight this sort of thing, they don't get together as a group and say, we've got to fight this sort of thing. They don't really know it's going on egregiously like this generally. They're sneaking it under the radar these days. This sort of, like, the people that go on about psyops and stuff, like, this is it. This is the psyops, isn't it? These are people who are fakes, putting weird ideas into the public with a fake view count to make themselves look better. Maybe it's just their ego, but this is all fake and bollocks. So, like, why would anyone go in there and look stupid enough to be like, yeah, hi, like, this is good. It's not good. And they're going to say, well, Scott, you know, you don't like Luke and you've got a chip on your shoulder about Luke, so you're just saying that, you're jealous. Look at what I'm supposedly jealous of. Oh, the numbers. The numbers are fake. I don't want 429 people at 11 o'clock at night It's now midnight. It's coming up. No, it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to, like, this number, fake numbers at 11 o'clock at midnight, looking obviously fake on my channel. It would ruin, like, it's just stupid. I would look like a laughing stock on the internet. And, like, having said that, if there was someone buying subscribers on my channel, like, you know, like, stupidly buying subscribers for me, I've reported it to YouTube, but like, what I was saying there is I don't want it. So I was then thinking, God, well, maybe they'll do it, like, you know, an attack on me by buying me views, which would be the stupidest attack you've ever heard, I guess. But here, like, it's so clearly fake. Like, it's so unbelievably fake. Luke's like, yeah, he does, doesn't he? Luke looks scary.
Oh, I don't really like get involved in it, but it's mad.
Right, but herein lays
and this
the
is funny as well, because,
people...
okay, right, the reason they like Luke, I've just spotted it there, the reason they like Luke is because he's there to just play the everyman, just like you and I. And so the fact that he looks thick as shit helps. Oh, I don't know why this is happening, you know, maybe it's the bad Muslims. What can you tell me, John? Like, that's his role here, isn't it? To act like you and me and we're normal people, and then he's concerned and he wants to just help the children. He's confused, but now John's helping him to see the light, and he's done some research himself and he's found out it's a bad Muslim. Like, it's that, isn't it? Like, it's sinister what he's doing.
They will enforce their will with military backup. Now that's very, very worrying.
Like, this is sick, and I want to see what he's done on the Sean Attwood channel for a laugh instead. But
now he has gone out and he is labelled everyone on a blanket comment that they are far right. Now,
if you went to the fucking protests of the right, not the protests, but the riots, John, then you are far right, because the reason that they're going to the riots is because they are far right. If you don't like those people like the far right do, you are far right. You can't argue it. You were labelled that because of the actions you took.
The Germans, the Jerrys, the Hun, right? The Vietnamese got called the Gooks, okay? And what they are, a derogatory, dehumanising
The far
term.
right is not a derogatory, dehumanising term. It's a political term for the way you behave and the things you believe in.
Object and not a person. You're not dealing
A
with
derogatory,
an
dehumanising term would be something like a load of nonces, or John's a nonce, or like Luke's a nonce. That would be derogatory, dehumanising. But according to you, the far right is not.
You know, a derogatory term to dehumanise them so you can go to war. Yeah, the Falklands, right? Listen.
Was that the Falklands? That's not what he's trying to get the point across, Luke.
The far right. Right, he has to do that, and I'll tell you why.
He has to do that.
Because the far right are the enemy of the socialists.
Are the enemy of the socialists. He's done this on his fucking video the other day. We've already critiqued this. He's making you thinking.
Democratic individual that's appalled by what's happening.
By what's happening.
Is his enemy.
Is his enemy.
It's a basic psychological tool that he's using.
It's a basic psychological tool. You're a fucking tool.
Person. They're all human beings. He has to denigrate in order to then go to war against us.
He has to denigrate to
and
go
I
to
think
war.
That this term, I definitely think it would cover
I definitely think it, but I don't. He definitely, I don't. I think he definitely don't do. He's using it. He's pierced armour. I'm appalled. I'm a big sweaty bad Christian. I get in the lake and I swim in my pants. I'm a bad man. I'm John, and I'm gonna come get them kids. I'm gonna do. Keir Starmer's a bad man. He's an idiot. I think people should listen to me. I've got all the credibility. I'm very credible. Look, I'm so credible. I've got 401 people watching, and there's nobody moving in the chat. They don't even talking. Sue says wake up in chat. Sue needs to fucking wake up. She's had a fucking lobotomy. Sue's suffering from a fucking lobotomy. She doesn't see this is bollocks.
Okay. We're a tolerant nation.
We're a tolerant nation.
We've
got money in our pocket. Look at Luke just sitting there staring like a fucking grape masher.
In Eastern Europe, we've got a good income. I'm not saying we have a higher standard of living, because I don't think we have, but we've got money in our pocket.
You fucking idiots. We've got a lower standard of living because of Brexit. The rest of Europe has now got a higher standard of living. And if you're worried about your human rights and people banning your freedoms of speech, that's because we left the fucking EU and now they can attack all the fucking laws. If we were still connected to the EU, they couldn't take away your human rights and your freedoms to speak, because the rest of Europe would preclude it and prevent it. You'd have to get everyone to agree to it. But now we're out of it, they can do what they want and screw you over as hard as they can. And you were the people that fucking presented that and pushed for it, you idiots.
Right, so many decent
This is wolves in
people.
sheep's clothing trying to get you to vote against your interests. And I don't know why they're hyping it up so hard. The election's done, but maybe it's something to do with the American election coming up. Like, you've got 5 years of the election having been done now, so shut up and get back in your box, you fucking great masher. Yeah, great mashers. Luke's bored of it now, he's taking off his glasses.
I genuinely believe
Bad eye.
that Starmer will instruct Mark Rowley and other chief constables to transcribe these speeches and scrutinise these speeches for any inference, not even obvious, but inference of incitement, aid and...
Take a breath. I mean, yeah, like, honestly, like, me getting triggered on stream isn't like the best thing for me, obviously, and this isn't like, you know, I can obviously just stop and just not, I can just be fine, yeah, but it does annoy me because this is really the worst. Like, they titled the stream is Britain Broken, and this is the shit that breaks it. This is the scum in our society that needs scraping off and flushing away.
Upsets me even more is the silence of the shadow government. Why are they not screaming and screaming how wrong this is? Why are the media not screaming how wrong this is? Amnesty International and all these people screaming that this is outrageous what is happening in the United Kingdom, but no one
do you think obviously it's really shit scary times at the minute, you know?
450 watching now.
Don't know what you're gonna...
It's just dropped down to 410, so
wake up to each day. You don't know if you're going to hear a story about another maniac with a knife or whatever. But do you think that these protests and riots are going to get worse before they get better?
No, they finished now.
I think the idea is since 2010, nearly 15 years on, since the student riots of 2010, when they started really mucking around with their payments and the funding they were getting. It's only got worse. Not one student riot. Students were synonymous with getting on the streets and being radicalised and really politically passionate. They were all the time. Nothing, because they got hit so hard in 2010 and that so many were imprisoned, right, that it never ever happened again. And this is what we're going to see happening here.
Do you think that... By the way, everyone, there's a lot of people in the chat. Hit like, let's get the video
nobody in the chat.
In the algorithm, show a bit of support, channel, show a bit of
There's
support.
nobody in the
John
chat, Luke.
Getting on here at, well, it's 11 o'clock now, but you came on half an hour ago. Yeah, hit that like button,
It's just
everybody.
gone up to 485 people watching, though.
Do you think...
Like, have you ever seen my streams, yeah? I mean, you've all watched my streams. So have you ever seen a stream of mine with over 400 people in it and the chat be like that, just static? Like, does anyone think this looks real? Can you just, in my chat now, look, can you just prove it to me, right? I've got 47 viewers. In chat now, can you just tell me that Luke's an arsehole, just make the chat move a little bit. Just like, we can see whose chat moves quicker. Like, can you just tell me, like, Luke's an arsehole, I don't believe John, I think this is fake, the numbers are fake. Just tell me what, I'm telling you. It's late at night, I know. And I know that not everyone's going to be up for just, getting on the phone and chatting because it's late. But, just do some chatting just to make the point that, like, a little call for engagement there. Luke did the same thing. He said, if you're in chat, hit the like and do that. Like, look at the difference. Like, to someone that works hard at trying to succeed on YouTube, this is one of the worst, most disgusting things you can do. To the most of the YouTube audience, this is one of the lowest, most disgusting things you can do. And it's obvious when you do it. And generally, I mean, it's a different world now, isn't it? But like the sort of communities that were around on YouTube 10 years ago, if you're view botting, you're done. You're just a dead, you're just, a piece of scum. No one cares. No one cares. So still only 3 likes. I mean, maybe if I reload it, the likes will go up. I think it's got 82 likes now, actually. I've just got a different one open in a different window with 82 likes total now. So, like, the likes did start to go up at one point. Maybe it's just, that just stays there because you know, maybe if I click dislike, it will. Well, it's not rolling around anyway. But on the other window, I've got 82 likes there for him. But I think you can buy likes as well as, you know, I think you buy packages that say, you know, you can get, you know, 50 views plus likes or something. You know, maybe the likes will start to trickle in as well. But the fact is, I don't think you can buy legitimate chatters. Not good, proper, legitimate chatters. They'll get a couple of, look, you've got Trisha's army now are in there saying hello to her, like, no offence to her, but like, they're obviously now all in there to try and make it look real. You know, it's really important now, behind the scenes, like, Luke's got her phone number, he sends a text, he's told, you know, she's done that on a stream, she said it, I've recorded it. Like, it's probably quite important to some people that chat looks like it's moving, because they seem to be picking up now that I've decided to talk about it. But let's be real, it's dead. It's dead. Like, this is like totally illegitimate. It looks fake, it looks pathetic. I mean, I can't keep just saying it. What's doing on that pad, you can see it in his glasses, yeah. I don't know. I think the reason you can see green in the glasses, we used to see it with Alan a lot, and we used to think it was the poker table, but actually what it is that the glasses have got polarising lenses, so they take out some of the red light and you're left with the green. So it's probably just a white screen that you can see reflected, but it looks green in the lens. I can't keep repeating myself, but we all know that if I did a stream and I had 500 people in there, well, first of all, we know that it wouldn't happen. Doesn't matter if Jon Wedger's amazing or whatever. At this time of night on YouTube, jumping on like this, you're not going to. You're not. Luke's not. This is not. And like we all know, it's just dropped from 480 down to 430. He went down. You just saw it underneath me. It went down exactly 50. So there's some problem with the view botting, isn't there? You'd think he would pay for the views and they would stay there, but instead they're coming in and then they're going, because view bots for like if you're watching a video, right? Maybe they'll stay for 10 minutes so you get the video view, and then they'll go, done. But here, look, they've gone up to 499 just straight away. 499. There's another 100 in. Like, he's got to keep maintaining it because they're not staying, because the bot is only going to be there for about 10 minutes. This is a live stream. Whatever service he's buying it from are not giving him longevity live stream views. They're giving him about 10 minutes and then they're going. So watch that number drop by, 50 to 100 in about 5 or 10 minutes. That's what's happening. You're witnessing it as I'm talking. And they are simply not in, if you've got 100 extra people just jumped in, why aren't they in there talking? That number is going up and down like a fortune teller's knickers.
Mothers Against Knife Crime, and these were women and men who had lost their children through knife crime, inner city knife crime. Predominantly 90% of the audience were from the black community. And I turned around and I said to them, what would you have liked the police to have done? Now, everyone, unanimously, without one exception, every single adult in that room said, if the police had a more stop and search, our children would be alive.
That's your testimony.
More stop and search.
What you're saying is you want more stop and search, but I don't think we've been through this already. We've already reacted to this, Jon. You're repeating what you said on your stream on your channel the other day. That's all this is a repeat of what Jon said on his channel the other day. Yeah? And we agreed that it's not that the black community want more racial profiling. Thanks. Idiot.
On the streets, walking the streets and dealing with an incident and dealing with it swiftly and meeting it with the level of violence or threat that they're confronted with. And that's what they should be doing, and they should never be backing down. You've seen them
Jon Wedger is not the expert on what police should and shouldn't be doing. He doesn't work as a police. He hasn't done for several years.
Please, we need them. But we need proper policing. Back when I joined, right, it was one of the largest
this is one of the problems with this
campaigns I ever had.
It's like it now, if you just see the live stream, it says 480 watching. So I assume that will in some way help his visibility on YouTube. I assume that will help him in some way to get his stream seen a bit more. It's totally fake. It's totally BS. And it is disgraceful cheating. No one should follow these people. They are cheats.
We're gone. The tradecraft went. They took away our housing. They took away our free dental plans. They took away our dry cleaning tokens. They started messing with our pensions. They
Should have voted dry cleaning. Jon Wedger recently did this exact thing that he's doing now on this live stream, which somehow has, like, his last one got 900 views, 800 views, 800. Like, these are his live streams, yeah. 700 views, 600 views, 800 views, 800 views, 900 views, 5,000 views. 5,600 actually. So it looks like it's 600 plus the 5,000 you've bought, doesn't it? Yeah, and he's done the exact same speech here. So if this is such a good speech, 5,000 views on that, like, how is this going to get like an extra 50? Like, he's practiced it a bit more. He's doing it again. It's a repeat. How are the people in this chat even bothered? They've heard him say it before the other day. Like, are they just not got enough Tommy Robinson because Tommy Robinson's on holiday having a curry? Is this like your Poundland Tommy Robinson crew now? Like, what is happening here, and how is even anyone putting up with it? YouTube should shut this shit down.
violent sex crimes and things like that.
There isn't a way to report it for view botting, but YouTube should shut this down.
Just fell apart. It fell apart, and it's just appalling what you've got. They have now. Too much political intervention, and they've got this woke, useless, not fit for purpose, with no tradecraft. The tradecraft of the police has gone. They've lost it. And it is a joke. It's an absolute joke. And the public deserve to be policed, and they deserve to have robust, strong coppers.
You know, how dare you sit on this stream and cry about justice and what the public deserve when you're faking it and lying and cheating? You know, how dare you? With your disgraceful politics, what the public deserve. They deserve so much better than people like you, which is why I'm so against what you do.
Knife crime, because you can't ban knives, can you, in this country?
40% of all murders are knife murders, and 80% of...
That's an exact replica of a question they've already had on his show that they've already talked about. It's like they're repeating a conversation they've already had, like it's a performance.
We're pretty screwed.
It's not about access to the weapons or not. It's about who's doing it and why they're doing it. 80% of these young lads are young lads with cannabis psychosis. You know, that's telling you something. You know, we're going about broken Britain. Well, where does it break? It breaks in the family. 80% of all child abuse goes on in the family. We've got kids growing up. You know, when I grew up, you had a bit of wisdom that came from your grandparents. And you go and see your grandparents, your granny and your granddad until they died, then you couldn't. There's kids that don't even know who their grandparents are. There's young people growing up don't even know who their fathers are.
Yeah.
We've got
social expert Jon Wedger, you know, sociologist here.
Statistics of single parenting and this baby mama, baby dada. Hate them terms. I hate them. Immature, lacking any responsibility.
It's just a phrase.
Flippant attitude towards parenting, baby daddy, baby. It's rubbish. It's
a lot of single moms in your chat, actually, John.
That's where it's broken. It's broken to the core, and that has been going on for the last 3 generations. And now we're picking up the pieces, and it's just ingrained. It's
so again,
so
you know how
ingrained.
I talk about how this is right-wing stuff is often right-wing evangelical Christian. Like, who thinks that you should have a 2.4 family unit and ban homosexuals and no more condoms? Like, who thinks that? Like, it's the evangelical right-wing Christians.
All these other.
Let's go back to traditional values. Let's have a woman at home where she can be seen, and why do the people follow these misogynists? Why would any woman be in their chat listening to this and say, "Well, this is acceptable. I like the cut of their jib"?
She was so right in how society would be. She had it right, and she got mocked. So it's been going on a long, long time. Again, schools, discipline of schools. The teachers are powerless. You know, if they say anything, they get in trouble.
What? So you think they should hit the kids at schools, do you, John?
It's not about whether they have the ability to pick up a weapon and use it. It's got nothing to do with that. It's why would they use it? For what reason?
Yeah, society's gone mad, and it's people like you that are spreading this sort of malicious propaganda rather than making the world better. You two are a pair of right shits.
And you don't think that that's going to have an effect on their, their logic, their thinking? Their desensitisation.
I got a comment here. It's from. It was quite a while ago, but
But I thought I'd definitely bring it up now because it helps with the narrative.
Make a point of it.
Helps make a point.
From James Frey.
I'm going to pretend someone else is saying it.
So I look after my kids. I'm worried about their future.
Oh, that's it.
And I think
That's every man. Look, it's from a guy called James, and he's just a guy like me, and he says, I'm worried about my kids, I'm worried about the future. So what do you think of that, eh?
I've got a young child, and
you don't see her much though, do you, Luke?
I'm not looking forward to the country she's going to be growing up in.
Right, I want to answer.
It's shit, innit?
One of your persons put a thing on.
Well, tough.
Someone disagrees with me because they're a healthy single mum. Look, okay.
Where's it?
I don't know. It's Baltic or something.
Get rid of us, you're a troll.
Listen, let me talk to you. It's Baltic.
Healthy single mom.
I was a single dad of 4 kids. I brought up 4 kids. Their mother was toxic. She was a drug misuser and everything. She wasn't good.
So some of those kids weren't his kids. They were someone else's kids. And he took them off the mother and had them for himself by proving in some way that she's this toxic drug user from his position of policeman. Of women, the compassion that I could have showed them, that femininity that the home and my parenting, it couldn't give it. They needed a woman, right? Right, and she's saying that she is a woman? They needed a woman to make decisions about when they pick a partner. So how do they need a big fat wanker like you?
And they need a man. Oh. And it's no good just saying, just because you're a good single mum. And no 2 parents should fight, and I agree. We shouldn't be living in a war zone. But if you can't get on with a person, for whatever sake, don't have a child with them. There's no need to have a child with someone you dislike. That's what I'm saying. I support... Someone had a child with Luke and they don't like hanging around with him. But it was wrong and it was unbalanced. Try and see the maturity in my statement. I'm not attacking single parents. You sound very fucking immature. It sounds like you don't understand the subject or the people you're talking to really at all. Right, let's not normalise single parenting because it is not normal. Well, it is normal now. And you will see the decline in any society and a correlation with diminished standards, values and family values. We need our families. Now, you tell me it's Baltic, am I wrong? I needed to address that with a bit of passion.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
You need to get your point out, don't you? John, what do you think the main problem is that the UK...
For some reason, It's Baltic hasn't addressed anything he said, and they just said we need to encourage more people to have healthy relationships. Abuse starts at the pregnancy most often. The choice to not have children isn't there at that point.
And you know, we've just been...
I suppose what they're saying is once you get someone pregnant, then you start being bad, and that's why, like...
And also, you know, we're not led properly.
So they did make a good point.
We've been failed.
Like, I don't think that they're going to dispute it, are they?
Failed on so many levels, and it's all gone wrong.
Like, and they're now saying, thank you, John, sorry, John. So it feels a little bit like, you know, pathetic to be like, thank you for the response, John. Like, he fucking shouted at you and told you were wrong. Like, thank you for the response, John. And you're like just there to make it look like somebody's like, you know, somebody agrees with John after he explained it better for them.
They should be.
Like, some people that don't like me say that I'm patronising and condescending when I've said, I'll explain it for you. But listen to the way this man is speaking to these people about being a single parent. You cannot stand by him. Like, how on earth is that fucking... Like, I don't want to say their names because they will get eggy about it, and I'm not even, you know, don't feed the trolls, yeah? But, like, how many of those people should really be offended by the way John's talking and won't be because it's just in their interest to just go against Scotty Hottie? Fucking pathetic. Like, these are the misogynists, the sickos, the patriarch, the right-wingers, the fucking predators. Like, look at what you're looking at. Like, look at what you're looking at. I've had to come in on my day off to point at the devil and say, stop dancing around with the devil.
To the Muslim community over the Christian community, and this is where it's causing the problem. This is where it's causing a problem.
There's no problem between the Muslim community and the Christian community. If you look at the response to those riots, they all came together and said, fuck off, you right-wing pricks. All the people that stood around the mosque and like helped to rebuild it, and all the people that came together, no problem between the two religious communities. There's a problem between you and your politics and the rest of the country, because you want to assert power and get back into being a position of like men have all the power again.
The Asian boys with knives and that, and the police weren't doing anything.
White men.
It's wrong. You know, it's an offensive weapon. It's a pointed, bladed article. They should be dealing with it and not running away. And then you've got some 73-year-old woman who gets stamped on by like the Gestapo.
Here we go again. This woman was arrested by the police for something she posted online. I don't know exactly what she said. It must have been pretty bad if she got arrested. She didn't get stamped on. And it's these funny parallels where it's like, oh, you had this one guy and he was running around with a fucking giant fucking axe cutting people's heads off and screaming Allah Akbar. And the police gave him a bunch of sandwiches and a can of Vimto. And then you had this other woman and she was pregnant and the police threw her off a fucking cliff just for saying that she liked the king. Like, it's just not, it's two-tier policing.
I think it can get much worse than that. That stabbing last week in Southport. And then, did you know the guy that did the stabbing in Leicester Square? Do you know that he put the girl in a headlock and stabbed her, I think it was 8 times?
How are they talking like this?
That is good. I think that night's been picked for a reason, because that is doing...
How is he talking like this with no sensitivity and he doesn't give a shit? It's making me feel a bit sick.
National, has he got any previous convictions in?
No, when people talk about children suffering like that and they're just dead in the eyes, how do you not feel that this is repulsive?
Any ideology, you know, what is he got mental health problems? I think
double standards. Do you know what's
got...
annoying me as well? The double standards with the people that have been fucking picking. I shouldn't get eggy about it, but this is repulsive. You know it's repulsive. They know it's repulsive. Everyone knows it's repulsive. Like, I don't have to do my work here of detracting this, and they're doing it for me. They've got their fake views, their fake friends, and their fucking sick opinions. It's worse than Alan. Like, in a way, I'm glad they do it, because it's free content for me now, isn't it? I can put this on YouTube and just be like, look what I said about this. I win. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You think neurodiversity? You mean, like, he might have something wrong in his brain that precludes him from having feelings? Like, I think he's sick. That's what I think it is. I think because it's a manipulation, a politics, a game, a, like, you know, stepping stones, and not coming from the heart and what you think and feel, because it's this other stuff, he's using a different part. He's not using his heart, he's using his brain and his thinking. And if I say this horrible thing, it'll make people feel like this, and this is the rules of how we get and manipulate. And like, he's hoping that the people in the chat will feel repulsed and will get angry and eggy. The visceral quality of what he said, and those poor kids, and now I'm angry and eggy. Yeah, tell me where to go and throw the stones. But I see through it, and I'm repulsed by him for doing it. Reenacting the stabbing on the fucking stream. He got her in a headlock and he was going like that. Like, fucking hell.
Stop and search. Any gangs of young lads at night expect to be stopped and searched. If you don't like it, go tell your mum.
Did he say ganja lads? Do you mean black people?
Nothing. And we're seeing another consistency.
I've had enough with this fucking fat racist telling me how I should think and feel on the internet with his fake views and his fake little buddy. No, I've had enough of that. Like, this is some sick shit.
We know more about him. Why is there not a programme on him? And
he's 18 now. He's 18 now as well.
Yeah, you know. So
he wasn't when he committed the crimes.
They're definitely keeping silence. Why? I can see the frustration in people over it. It's just been silent. The newspaper.
Most things like this, serious crimes that go to court, there's actually, like, you can't go in the internet and just start talking about them all, because there's going to be a trial, so it would prejudice the trial. So they keep all the facts and the things secret when they do the trial, and then everything comes out after the trial and they talk about it. That's standard. So I don't know why John's so eggy about it these days.
Should be full of it. You know, there should have been a day of national mourning. Our monarch should have been out there saying this must never happen again. You know, the police. You're
going to tell the king how to behave.
Should be doing stop and searches. They should be a national policy now. Stop and search any gangs of young lads at night.
See, I said gangs of young lads. I thought he said ganja young lads. Any gangs of young lads at night, police policy, stop and search them. But you don't want us to remove our freedom of speech. Oh, God help us, we shouldn't be able to speak on the internet and do racist slurs on the internet. God help us that we couldn't be able to go on the internet and commit racist fucking slurs, hate crimes on the internet, whip up hate against minorities on the internet. That's a removal of our freedoms. But on the other hand, I think that we should be able to fucking have the police stop and search people at random on the streets for being male and young in a public place. It's bad enough that they were black in a public place in the past. We used to arrest them for that. But now I want young males. Get them on the car. Get them on the bonnet. What have you done? Oh, nothing. Right, get on the bonnet. Like, what the fuck are you doing, John?
expect to be stopped and searched. If you don't like it, go tell your mum. You know, but nothing. And we're seeing another consistency knife, like you say, steak knife, kitchen knife, which ties in with what I'm saying. The same thing, but nothing. You know, what they want to do is clamp down on the likes of me and you, Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, you know, imprisoning someone because they put a sticker on a lamppost. And you know,
do you know what? I think go on, John. I think go on. Give it your best. Maybe you'll get the both of you arrested.
Facebook status that, you know, is not PC. You know what I mean? Things like that.
You can't even fucking draw fucking swastikas on your fucking Facebook now as a fucking picture for your Facebook. On my birthday, I just wanted to have a load of fucking Nazi flags on my Facebook and they wouldn't let me do it. It's fucking it's fucking political correctness gone mad, innit? It's political correctness gone mad. You can't even fucking grab hold of a load of Muslims and shave their fucking heads. You can't even fucking force them to shave their beards off. It's fucking political correctness gone mad, you know.
Migrant hotels, and we're setting fire to plastic bins and putting them by the entrances to these hotels. Well, listen, you're going to prison for big double figures. I'm telling you now. That's criminal damage by fire.
And then they do this fucking stupid thing where they're like, oh, you know, you went too far by burning the bin, you're going to prison. But he's not doing it to say you're bad for burning the bin in principle because you shouldn't have been there doing that thing to the hotels. He's like, you took that a bit too far. The way to get around it is to not burn the bins. Don't be so naughty. But we still want you on the side and we still need you motivated. So why don't you come and join my little gang? Like,
you can't go doing things like that.
I read that.
In chat there, someone wrote, press 1 if you did not vote for Labour. So they've been like summoned into power, like some, you know, they're pressing 1, the people that are there watching the chat, and like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, I think that's a repeat there, that one, like 9 of them are in the chat there, like, but there's 500, well there's 420 watching now, so it's dropped down again to the 400 that have been paid for and the 20 that may be there. But that is just totally, like, I can't keep repeating it, but it just shows it up so clearly.
No, it didn't take the police 5 minutes. As soon as they watched it.
And what kind of chat has like with our country, like pretty much predominantly voting Labour in? Like in my area, I would also say 1. I voted for the Lib Dems actually, and that got rid of our Tory MP, and we had a local person that's interested in local stuff get in. Great, but like, how are they all politically exactly aligned together in their chat? This isn't entertainment. This is propaganda.
For the rest of us, when there will be a need that we want to exercise our democratic right to protest, because economically led countries...
Yeah, I've been saying this for ages. Peter Folding's against the protesters. He removed them from outside Huntington Life Sciences. They criminalised all the animal rights protesters in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then they went on to criminalise the people who were sat in the road so that we didn't have so much oil destroying the country. Like, destroying the world, sorry. Like, they criminalised them, John. But now it's gone this way. They're not protesters, John. They were rioters, and they got the full force of the law thrown at them for being rioters.
To prevent,
and if you didn't want if you don't want the laws being done like this, you should have been in the EU. You should stay in the EU, because then you couldn't have done this. The laws couldn't be all just like, oh, whatever we fancy now in England we'll do.
This one party, one world government, whatever it might be.
You're going on about the one world government again. He's going on about all this bollocks. It was better to be part of the big union in Europe. That's after the war we rebuilt that way. It was great. And the idea is that we would be better off as an isolated island where you're locked in this island now. Like, think about your freedoms here. Think about this argument, yeah? Free to do whatever you want. Well, I could go to Europe and just travel around. I was part of Europe. I could go wherever I want. No border control, nothing. Now, you can't get off this island unless you've got your papers, your passport, your proof that your identity, you're going through the scanner. You can't get off the island unless you've got that because of Brexit. So now where's your freedoms? You fucking arseholes.
But the problem
you also did a lot of work on. I just want, if people aren't aware, because I think this is very admirable. You did a lot of work on uncovering the abuse of Baby P, didn't you?
Oh my God! Why this now?
Investigators on Baby
This was the case that ended John's career, effectively, isn't it? And from what I remember, and I can't state clearly, I think there was some sense of impropriety. I don't know if he took something home from the office, but whatever was going on, like, I think there was some sense of he wasn't. Like, from what I read, and I don't want to say this in case it gets I'm saying the wrong thing, but there was something about evidence and accessing evidence or something, right? And I could be wrong there, so don't string me up and say I'm doing defamation. Look into it yourself and find out why Jon was in trouble and ended up getting pensioned off.
Get some love in the chat for that, please. Yeah, respect there, Jon.
But the mother, named Tracy, she was a dangerous. She spat in my face. She was a dangerous woman. She was a manipulator, and she bullied and manipulated her way through, and she relied on the weakness of social services.
I hate this, and I don't even know what went on, but if Jon Wedger's near it, it makes me worry, just generally. And
not just did the social...
Someone in chat there has written, got Antifa all over it. Like, these people are scum.
They monumentally failed. And like I said before to you, it's laziness and incompetency more than it is corruption.
Yeah, I was just thinking about these riots and this protest and stuff. Now, for what's been happening, especially like the Southport stuff. I mean, that is just some of the most brutal, one of the most brutal cases that's happened in recent years. I understand, and I'm a big believer in peaceful protests. But when it starts yeah, you have to. You've got to, and they're allowed. And I live in Manchester. They are frequently doing protests through Manchester, through a big street, and the police accompany them if it's peaceful. But what you can't go doing is using like protests as like groups getting together, going, right, let's go down here and like kick off and start throwing bins at cops and smashing windows, because that then what you're doing, you're just committing a crime, which you're not committing the really bad crime which the Southport person did, but you're just committing more crime and making the country worse.
Look, I
think about it.
I was a regular attendee at protests. I even organised my own protest once. I speak at protests, and I think they're integral. They're an integral part of our society. The right to.
This is such a load of bollocks, isn't it? When he says he does these protests, he goes on about his satanic ritual abuse with like 3 people somewhere, doesn't he? But such a load of bollocks. They're both friends with Peter Folding, and Peter Folding removed people from Huntington Life Sciences camp. So always like put it on his CV that he was like such a load of bollocks.
The devil does things for more than one reason.
Yeah, you know about that, Jon.
Amongst all of that, there is also a 2-tiered level of policing going on.
Here we go.
Control room, the public order control room, when it was kicking off in Tottenham.
Propaganda. Like, I'm not having him just like literally saying there's 2-tier police in this country. Like, that's exactly the sort of incendiary stuff that's getting this sort of things in trouble. But I can report what I can report, and YouTube can decide it for themselves.
And the territorial support group wanted to be deployed. They were stood down.
Yeah, the chicken eating was more fun, wasn't it?
Tottenham was burning. It was going crazy. Essex, Hertfordshire, Surrey, Sussex, all these police forces were ringing up, and they were ringing through.
Sussex,
and the messages were coming through to the control room, and the senior officer there, they were saying, boss, we got Essex police here. They want to deploy their guys to help.
Essex, Peter Folding.
And they were all told to stand down, And whilst that was happening, Tottenham was just being crushed, and and the public just weren't getting policed. So I've seen police deliberately at a very, very high level, in my opinion, not do their job. But they're being told from higher up, to behave in that manner, and they'll be rewarded in doing so.
Herein is a huge problem, is that Jon never achieved the ranks of the high status shot callers, the planners, the organisers. He never got up to that high level, did he? So he can't say that the people in that gold room that make those decisions, that pass it down, that they're doing the wrong thing. He can have that opinion, but he never got qualified to state that. He was like on the lower level getting told what to do, and he's like, I don't think we're getting told the right orders here. Well, you think better, but you're wrong maybe, because you don't know, because you're not qualified to say.
Yeah, we're in there.
But mind you, we've all got an opinion.
few of the
Opinions are like arseholes. These two are both arseholes.
back, and the police were sent in, and that I heard it with my own ears that there was a directive that no local, no Asian, no Bengali was to be arrested, and big arrests were made, but they were all white EDL supporters. So I've seen it happen. I stand
Is that a
testimony
fact?
to that. That did take place.
I mean, that's quite serious testimony, John.
So these things do happen. They do happen, and I've seen it happen. And I think it's grossly unfair because our system is based on fairness. And if you're going to give one a good beating, then you should give the other one a good beating, regardless of colour.
People shouldn't be getting any beatings from the police. Okay, and the idea that he suggested there to us was that back in the day, the police were specifically targeting white people and leaving all the people that are like the minorities alone. But it doesn't sound like what actually happened back in the day, does it? It sounds like that was the opposite. And John used to work for the police back then. So do I trust what he's telling me? Fuck no.
Will they ever admit to it? No, they won't.
Of course they won't admit
No,
to it,
they
John.
won't.
Like you won't admit to all the things
will
you've
never
done.
pick up on it because they're not privy to it.
Well, it's good we've got these platforms where we can talk about these kind of things. You know what I mean? Like obviously you have to keep it real and above board and give your opinion. But we are lucky that we're in a day and age where we can discuss this kind of stuff because, like you said, like not everything does hit MSM.
Are you stupid? This was discussed when we literally fought Germany and beat them in the war. We all discussed it then.
Sometimes to scare people.
What they did to the Jews was bad. We've discussed it. You're doing it now. You're doing it now to the Muslims.
Got caught up in crime. And I'm not rubbishing or denigrating anyone on a personal level. But there is this underbelly in society that I think most of the UK will be shocked if they knew, the state of our youth. These are young lads, and it's mainly men I deal with, they're smoking strong cannabis first thing in the morning. They're turning up, and coming to see me, and they're blazing away on a joint.
Who are these young boys?
I mean, this is hard.
Who are these young boys that are getting high on cannabis in the morning with John?
Stinks, you can smell it a mile off, right? There's so many of them are illiterate. They're illiterate. And really, not to denigrate anyone.
Why is John hanging around with these vulnerable people?
They've got no understand. One of them didn't even know where Glasgow was. And no understanding where Glasgow was. Didn't know where it was. Meant nothing to him. The level of ignorance and inarticulateness it's incredible. They can't articulate.
Inarticulateness.
Words. And it's all this romance speech, which I don't even understand. And I'm no mug, and I'm a Londoner. I don't even know what they're on about. And if they're the future, we're
Out of touch much, John?
Failed. If I knew my children behaved and spoke like that, I'd know I'd failed. I know I'd failed as a dad. But
That's offensive to all of those families then.
they no one's ever told them no. No one's ever they can't do any work. They don't know how to hold a broom. They won't know how to hold a brick trowel or a screwdriver or anything. And they've got no interest in learning either. None. Don't mean nothing to them. Why should they? They make money through drug dealing and street nonsense. And it's the norm in some parts of the inner city of the UK.
Welcome to the poverty of capitalism. Welcome to those...
It's too far gone in some places. I think some of these politicians, some of these local councillors, some of these...
John's just going now, rambling about subjects, isn't he?
Local government, middle management, whatever, have no understanding.
So, things are really, really bad. How are we going to fix it then, yeah?
The level that we sunk to, especially in the urban areas, it's bad. It is so bad.
There's a few people in the chat. I've been glancing here and there at the chat,
which has been moving slowly.
There's a few names I recognise, and then there's a few people that are saying where they're from, Australia and America and one or two other. I think I saw Canada up there.
Why the fuck are these people watching?
Saying the UK is in this. I'm paraphrasing. UK is in the shit at the minute. That everyone can see how screwed it is right now, and it's just a shame to keep waking up to this every day, and the world's seeing it.
I had 10 young men, all over 18 with me, a
What?
couple of months ago.
So
And I
what?
think Rishi Sunak said he's going to bring in national service, right?
You can't throw curveballs in like that, mate.
So I turned around and I said, right, they're going to bring in national service. I said, right, come on, boys, national service, right? I said, our leader said, you've got to go
This is old news.
in King Sausage Fingers' army, right?
King Sausage Fingers.
No, I ain't going to do it. He said, because you lot, maybe I represent the UK or whatever, I don't know. He said, it'll ruin my country. So I said, well, what's your country? He's from Iraq. He said, no, you British.
You want to talk to Nadeem Zahawi about that?
And he said, I would. And I said to another lad, well, go on, would you? And he went, no. Well, why not? He goes,
Former Chancellor of the Exchequer.
British passport. He was something like 3 generations Jamaican. I said, well, I'm more British than you. You're more British than me. And he said, but he still didn't see himself as British. So we've got this total disconnect.
John just makes up this shit about people he's met who've told him stuff. Oh, I met this black guy once and he didn't think he was British. Like, did you though? Have you?
I couldn't stop laughing at it. I said, boys, come on, is there not one person here who wants to serve and fight for King Sausage Fingers? Not one. Not one. But also, look, listen, my family, my father's side, ethnically Italian, Sicilian, right? And my
So you're an
grandfather
immigrant?
fought in the British Army. Otherwise, he was going to be interned, right? Because it was illegal to...
Because in Italy, there were the fascists in Italy as well, weren't there? Do you remember? The Italy were some of the bad people, the fascists. So you're an immigrant from the fascists. Is that what you're telling us, John? But we don't care, do we? Because it's modern day Britain, so we're not going to judge you on that. Like, you fucking nutter.
An Italian national of fighting age in the United Kingdom during the war. They all got imprisoned, all of them.
Yeah.
Because they were seen as a threat, right? They were
Because they were fascists and we were fighting against them in the war. It's been the equivalent of Germans. Same thing. You couldn't trust them. They might have been nice people, but while there's a fucking war on, we're going to just keep an eye on them.
Italy swapped sides.
And that's nothing to do with them being German. You know, nowadays we do trust them. But back then, when the war was on, we couldn't trust them. We didn't think we could. We decided to lock a lot of them up and keep an eye on them.
Right? So they were seen as a threat, so they couldn't have them because they were seen as the enemy within. And they put them to work in the...
We were at war.
in horticulture in the brick factories. That's why you get a lot of Italians in Peterborough, in Wales, in Luton, in Cambridgeshire, things like that, because that's where the brick factories were. So they took them out of the city, and that's where they put them.
I don't understand this. He's basically explaining that he is the progeny of this immigrant community that got put into these like smaller communities like this. Imagine the trouble those Italians had back then, having been a small immigrant community and there was a war. Maybe they didn't have such bad trouble back then because maybe people weren't such bad shits because we were fighting against the fascists. So if they decided not to be fascists and to integrate, maybe we put our arms around them and welcome them. But like, how is John not realising that like he's now basically saying that either the people that like all the bollocks that he's spouting should hate him because he like basically represents everything they hate, or that he should just change his tune? Like, why is he even saying this?
So what do we do with these young lads whose parents have come over from Libya, from Afghanistan?
Oh, the numbers are dropping. I think they've finished now, so I think the numbers should drop. Hang on, let me just check that. We can scroll back in a minute. Yeah, look, they've finished now, yeah? The stream's finished, so just watch the numbers drop. Like, imagine I turn off my stream. How long are you going to wait on my stream? Yeah, and I know that you could be scrolling back, like, you know, some people aren't going to leave immediately, like I'm not. I'm going to skip back and watch this bit, but, like, imagine I turn off my stream, it's over on YouTube. You will watch my YouTube streams, yeah? So when I finish my YouTube stream, there are still some people that carry on watching after the end, but it drops, like, the majority are gone, yeah? We're still at 333 watching now. You would keep an eye on that.
And
my prediction is they won't leave until the money's up that they paid for, like, whatever the timer is that they're on, because that's still quite a lot of people to still be watching this stream, yeah?
really, not to denigrate anyone, but Thick, You know, they've got no understand. One of them didn't even know where Glasgow was.
Okay, that's back a bit.
Young men, they're all over 18 with me. That's why you get a lot of Italians in Peterborough, in Wales.
And look, the way the number's dropping, it dropped down to 333 and then it just sat there. So it feels to me like, oh, now we're at 76. They've gone like that. Like, all at the same time. They didn't trickle down or just like, you know, just all gone. There's still 76 there though.
Them? There'll be too many. There'll be millions and millions in prison, you know? But that's what they used to do because they were seen as a threat. So this thing about a national service, oh my word. Honestly, I've seen some of these boys, you can't even be bothered to shave, so how are you going to get them marching at 5 a.m. and yomping and all that the army does to him?
Say there, like, Luke doesn't care, he thinks he's in the big league. I actually think this is a weird thing that I don't think Luke cares about actually having success on YouTube legitimately, because, like, for me, actual success means actual view counts, actual memberships. You know, it's how I'm going to support myself financially and push forward to the content in the future. Like, it really matters. But a load of fake views wouldn't get me any of that. It'd just be a big number. It's like Alan with his, you know, he used to sit there with his big number behind him on the green screen, 60 million views or whatever he had behind, you know, like, it's a big number, it means nothing. Like, if you're not actually, like, Alan used to have to grift for fucking super chats. Like, if you're not actually pulling the views, getting the AdSense, like, having the memberships, and I'm grateful for your tippies, then, like, it's not working. So this for Luke, it might have looked like a great big number, but realistically, imagine I did a stream and I had 500 people in my stream and nobody gave me a super chat. I mean, I'm not saying I should, like, you know, but nobody, 500 people. Like, I've had 50 people and I've had multiple subs, multiple super chats, tippies. I'm really grateful. Luke had nothing the entire time of any form of gratuity, and he had 500 people effectively, like, or 470 or whatever. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So what is benefiting anyone? Okay, he gets the big number. Okay, he looks, and like, to thick ass people, and I'm talking about real thick ass people, it might look like he's got, like, they might believe that, but there's still 66 watching now. But the reality is that all he's done is paid for a big number. Like, he's bought himself a good looking hat. Like, it's just a hat. It's nothing. And it's not going to end up with him on Great Britain News because he's thick. Like, he won't hack it, he can't carry it. They're using him as the everyman to sell the concept to the everyman, aren't they, here? He's like, you know, he represents just the guy down the pub. So instead of Jon Wedger talking down to you, now the guy down the pub agrees as well. Right? It's just, he doesn't offer anything. So I can't see him being successful long term. But then again, you know, it's a funny world, scratchbacks, you know, and all that. But if this is success, I don't want this. I don't see this as success. I see this as a joke shop, and it looks transparently fucking disgusting. So it's bullshit. I'm glad we had a laugh. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, but it has damaged our society to the point where this sort of sentiment by these people and others caused actual horrific rioting. And not just the rioting, there's people that suffer racism now worse. You know, you watch race crime and hate crime go up. You watch domestic violence go up as well. Like, you know, it's made things worse by accepting the ideas of the nationalist, right-wing patriarchy, fascist, misogynist. You know, just allowing and accepting it into your homes. It's wolfed through the door, and like, you end up down the worst fucking dark path. And you go, oh, how did I get here? I don't like this. Well, you let the wolf through the door, you know, and fucking patted it on the head and gave it a bone.
In national service, well, it ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. It's gone too far. You know, I don't know what the answer is. I really have no idea. But I think,
well, obviously Richie Sunak didn't win the fucking election, did he? So we're not doing that.
People, you know, especially in the white middle classes, please wake up. Please wake up to what's going on, because you're the ones who can bring about.
In the white middle classes, please act more racist.
Change, because you're the ones with the influence. The white middle classes. Please help us out here, because
you're not talking to the white middle classes. You're talking to a few reprobate fucking reject right-wing racists. Like, you're faking all your views and you're talking to just like a handful of idiots.
are in dire straits, especially in the urban areas. We're in big trouble. Big trouble.
John, I think that's a brilliant kind of place to kind of wrap up. The video is titled "Is Britain Broken?" and I think we've kind of answered that in this chat. I think it's more than broken. I think it's in a million pieces, and I don't know how long it's going to take to glue them all back together. I think all we can...
Well, I can't glue it back together. Unity. It's not broken. There's a few people with broken brains kicking around. We can glue them all together and fucking... I don't know, put them to work as a doorstop. They just... Luke, you're an idiot.
Do is, I suppose, look after our own little bubbles, look after our own little families, and
just be selfish. Don't worry about unity in society. Just be selfish. Look after yourself out there. It's tough and it's mean. Get eggy. Have you got a weapon? Just don't worry about the other people. Pull the ladder up. Just be selfish.
Your friends and those people around you, and just try to be as safe as possible. Really, John. I just want to thank you again for coming on the channel. You do come on at sometimes like the drop of a hat, and I always appreciate it. Been quite...
Do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? When he's just to use the rhetoric of the COVID lockdown. Look after your bubble, just the people around you. Stay safe. Yeah, and like when there was actually a disease that was killing vulnerable people and old people and overloading the hospitals and making it so that we couldn't give other treatments, and like the hospitals were already on fucking 6-month, year-long waiting lists because of the terrible running of them by the Tories. Like when that was going on, some people were like, fuck it, I don't need to stay safe and watch out for me bubble. I'm just going to go fucking on the train wherever I want. I'll just see whoever I want. I'll just do whatever the fuck I want. I'll make my own rules and I'll just do it the way I want because I think I'm doing it the way I want. And now, when this is a load of like boys, it's actually quite safe on the streets. It's probably not that safe for certain ethnic minorities in certain places now, is it? But like for people like Luke and Jon Wedger, it's probably quite easy and normal and safe like it normally is. And he's out there going, look after your bubble, stay safe, like there's a fucking zombie invasion. It's just fucking stupid the way they've twisted the rhetoric that they would have fucking ignored. I don't know what they did during COVID, but you know what I mean? Like it's just so savage.
Steady 400 or 500 people in the chat tonight. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
If you like the video, that would be...
It wasn't a steady 500 we were watching. It was obviously view botted, Luke, and you've still got 65 on the stream.
Appreciated. Show some love for John for coming in and
if I may say before I go, where we're on the thing about national service and conscription, look at why it was abolished. It was abolished because
nobody's suggesting we should have national service and conscription at this juncture, John.
Men were refusing to fight because we'd been through 3 major conflicts: Napoleonic, First World War, Second World War. Men were marching on, walking on, steaming on to parade ground, and they were taking away their young sons that were made to do national service. They were dragging them off the parade ground and saying to the NCOs, "You're not having my son is not fighting in..."
I was going to look it up, but I can't be arsed with it.
Another war, because the British had had enough of war. They seen the destruction that war caused.
Yeah, Bigger Payment Homes, the shadow figure behind all this.
The damage, the mental health problems. That's why we got licensed.
The Manchester Epstein
laws, because people were turning to alcoholism because they couldn't cope with the trauma of war. More men have died through suicide from the Falklands War than actually died in conflict.
I don't know. I think we shot a few Argentinians. We sunk a few boats as well, didn't we? Or do you just mean British casualties?
Done about war. War is the most appalling, terrible thing. That's why conscription went. We're a peaceful, kind, loving, giving people.
Well, we gave a fuckload of bombs to fucking Ukraine to smash up all those Russians, didn't we? We very peacefully invaded Afghanistan, Iraq. Very peacefully killed Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein. We very peacefully demolished Syria. We had an empire, John, where we went out and dominated the entire world with our military force, imperial force. We were the empire.
We should never forget that. And war is not the answer. Was it Churchill said, George?
We've been at war constantly. We've What do you mean war is not the answer? Like, at the moment, well, I don't know how much is in the hands of Starmer now, but like the whole jig was to funnel public money into the hands of the arms manufacturers in the UK so they could blow them up over the Ukraine. Like, war is quite lucrative for the right wing.
Not war.
And like they argue in favour of more defence spending. Like quite a lot of the army people are quite right wing.
You know, and let's get it right. You know, we don't want a dictatorship, and
Right.
we don't want what Spain.
We obviously don't have a dictatorship, but one move away from the EU is one step closer to somebody in the UK having power without it being checked by somebody else. So,
Italy and France has, where they have a paramilitary police force that are totally unaccountable. The Guardia Civil have no complaints procedure. They do what they want.
What's
They're
this now?
corrupt and unjust, brutal policing. We don't need that. What we had was brilliant. It was the envy of the world. Let's try and drag that back bit by bit, you know? And remember that we are
well
good,
said.
peaceful, kind, democratic people, and let's keep it that way.
Well said, John. There's a lot
Well
of
said,
love
John.
for you in the chat here. A lot of appreciation there. You can see the comments, can't you, coming down?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's a lot
three of them.
Thanks everyone for being here tonight. Thanks for your comments. It's been a good chat with you, John.
it's been a disgraceful show. An audacious show of deception and propaganda.
It is, and I'm going to be joining. I'll probably be joining you next week on Sean Attwood's channel.
Brilliant, that'll be great. I still got his fucking thing to have a look at. We'll just skim through it after this. I'll probably do it on Nutter Watch.
To have
Yeah.
a chat about something else, and then you'll be back here at some point to talk about.
Always.
Hopefully not too soon, because that means something like grim has happened. But
Hopefully not too soon, because obviously if you just have it as the John and fucking Luke show, your channel just looks obviously like propaganda. So you got to mix it up a bit with some true crime and some other stuff. Get some views in, look like a normal person for a bit. And then go back into the egregious propaganda, dip in and out of that, yeah? Maybe talk Madeleine McCann or something next.
we'll catch up soon. Thanks to you, John, and thanks to everybody in the chat. Always appreciate it. Like the video, share the video, and
you don't need to share it. It's already had fucking thousands of views.
Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Thanks very much, John. Good night,
Right,
everybody.
God bless you all. Thank you, and thank you for giving me the time.
No problem.
Thank you, John. This seems weird and contrived, doesn't it? Like, we haven't commented enough about your mustard V-neck. He's got one of the Allen tops. You know, Allen's got that big, saggy, hanging neck. What's that about? Is it his nightie? Have we woke him up in the night to get on the stream? Like, what's going on with this?
Peace out, everyone. Thank you, John. Cheers, everyone.
That went well, Luke. Didn't it? That went well. Still 50 people watching it. 52. So it looks like there's 2 people that are still there and 50 view bots haven't left yet. Doesn't it? It's quite on the nose, isn't it, that number? Like, if it was like 37 or something, you'd think, well, I don't know, but like 52. Like, I can't keep making the same point, but it's obvious, so I might as well. It's a disgrace. Look, there it says 619 views at the end of it. 619. If I had a stream that had 500 people average for an hour, then I suppose, no, yeah, then I'd have 619. Now, if I did because I do longer, I do 2 hours, 3 hours, so that adds up more. But, like, watch that now, right? You know, we're doing it live, recording it. 619 with the view bots. Watch that number go up. You watch. I predict, in reality, if those view bots were real people and that had gone well and there'd been a real stream with 500 people on it, then you could probably expect by tomorrow, like, everyone's in bed, so not very many more views tonight. But tomorrow it'll get a little bump when it goes on the people's feed, and you might push up to 1,000. You might struggle your way up to 1,000 on that, with that number there now. 2,000 at a push if it's like, oh, it's really interesting and people are watching it. Yeah. By the end of tomorrow, it's done on the algorithm. There's other people's content. It's 2 days old. So you watch that now, right? If that gets upwards of anywhere near fucking 510, anything stupid like that, you know. Look at the creepy thumbnail. Who would want to be standing next to these people? Who on earth would want to stand next to Luke and say Luke's good and Luke's great? I understand that people might be vindictive and have a vendetta on their shoulders or whatever, little chippies, but like, you've got Jim McDonald there, you've got Peter Folding there, you've got Jon Wedger there, you've got Luke there. This is a bunch of cunts. Like, never more ever has that been clear. Right. You be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty for YouTube. Right, I'm just going to quickly look at this now, but I'm not going to watch this full react now because, like, I don't know, there's only a bit of it. It's half an hour of it, but I'm tired now. I don't want to do this now. I've had enough of their shit, if you know what I mean. But this is Luke, just randomly jumping on this show that Jon Wedger was supposed to be on, but Jon Wedger's not on it. So this guy's got to do the show on his own, and Luke happens to jump on, which is convenient.
Investment from the government.
And this happened just before Luke decided to jump on his own stream. Like,
abducted child case would get in this sense.
And this just looks like trash. This looks like a copy of National Enquirer magazine or something, doesn't it? It just looks like trash. He's got high saturation on his colours to make himself look more alive. I'm not going to heavily over critique the sort of like gamer headphones and long hair, but I just think like maybe I pull it off a little more classy, and I just don't get a good vibe from this guy, so I don't like him. Obviously I wouldn't, because look what he's doing, but
this has been going on a long time. Right, let's see what Luke's doing. I think he's still trying to figure out what to do, but you should be here. You should be here any minute. So we'll have a quick chat with him, and then we'll see what you guys think. I mean, I think I know what you all think. It's kind of split down the middle with hang on 1 second. Yo, I'm doing a podcast, mate. I will call you as soon as I'm done. There we go.
Wonder who that was.
How you doing?
What's happening, mate? How are you?
How are you, Ron? I'm good. Nice to finally get on the channel. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. I'm great. Well, listen,
Luke's doing the rock.
Introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about your channel, and tell them a little bit about the Moors murders. Like, hit them with like 5 minutes of the sales pitch, because
I love the way he's being presented in landscape, but he's kept his phone on portrait. If he just did his phone on the side, it would hack this, and it would just look like he's in a widescreen.
Oh, yeah. So, hello to all your audience. Anyway, how many have got in chat now? Looking down here, you got.
There's 510. There's 510 on YouTube, 535 on Twitter, and
hello to everybody out there.
But they're suffering the same problem with 500 people watching them and thousands of views on this live stream. Like, they've only got like a few people in their chat. The chat's hardly moving as well. Like, it's really weird. Like, our chat moves, if not faster, and we've only got 50 people in here.
Yeah, so my name's Luke. I run a channel called Break the Ice, which is mainly deals in like truth. So maybe,
Luke's not the only one doing the view botting, and maybe I think he's complicit in it. But when he posted that thing about Peter Folding with the Folding episode, I thought it was just to cover his own back, like to sort of say, oh, I'm not doing this. Obviously, there's view bots going on. I don't know anything about it. I thought he was trying to do that, like, because he publicly said, he made a community post, and I tweeted it, that said, I got all these weird views. He said he got weird views from like places like Ecuador and stuff. But now I'm wondering if it's part of like the club here, like whomever, someone's doing it to the people to like someone else is in charge of that, if you know what I mean. Like, it must be reasonably expensive to viewbot all these different streams, so maybe it's just individuals, but why do they need to look and say how many people they have in a stream? Yeah, it's what it is it's to make it seem more legitimate, because if there's like 10 people in here, well, yeah, You know, but if they've got 500, oh, this is the big stream and everyone agrees with us. So you might as well agree with us, because it's literally using playground popularity dynamics to make it look like you've got the bigger gang, so everyone should just agree with you. And it works on thick ass people. But if you see transparently through it, it doesn't work so easy. Like, it's con tricks, devilment.
Crime, interviews, documentaries, that kind of stuff. I've done a lot of work on the Moors murders, documentaries with...
Like with 500 people, like this person's called him Ice, Evening Ice. He's not a fucking special agent. But like with 500 people in there, he said hello to them, and 4 people.
Family members of victims, been to the graves with... So the Kilbride family became friends of mine. It was...
Yeah, says the other guy. He's turned his camera off for a bit there. I don't know why. I think he might have been on his phone, like he was dealing with something else there.
And so I've made a documentary with him. The inside story, how it affected the family. You know what I mean? I'm getting the glasses on.
Yeah.
How it affected the family. What it was like going through it, growing up. You know, with your family looking for...
of course.
Your loved one. And obviously, of course, at the time,
he didn't let him finish the thing when he said, of course. He didn't know what he was going to say.
They wasn't aware. The Moors murders wasn't a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, well, of course. And
I've got... my channel's called Break the Ice. So, there you go. It says it right there. If anyone wants to check that out, I'm probably...
Not awkward at all.
Probably most known on that channel for the Peter Falding interview and the Nicola Bully work that I've done.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereby...
The Nicola Bully work you've done, you allowed Peter Falding a space and a platform to spread his narrative. You didn't do any work on the Nicola Bully. What do you mean, do the work you've done? Like, you've done a couple of videos where you talked about what you thought as a very naive YouTuber.
I did this interview with Peter Falding about his declaration that he actually found Nicola in the river.
Yeah.
After, originally saying that he didn't, and then there was a whole inquest that he wasn't invited to, and it turned out that he found her on the second day of his search.
It didn't turn that out. It didn't turn out that he found her. It turned out he didn't find her, if you remember. And you're saying it now like you're like spreading his narrative into this channel. What's wrong with these people in this channel? Listen, I'm saying this and I know that there are like people that are going to get eggy with me just on principle maybe, but like you've got to accept this. Peter Falding wasn't right in what he was doing and saying there. Luke is on here saying a narrative, and it's a fake narrative, it's a false narrative. He's pushing Peter Falding's agenda narrative. It's not just his opinion. He doesn't have to push that narrative. He's on here just slipping that in like a little fucking Mickey in your drink. Like, these people are sick people, just slipping in the narrative. And you're supposed to be truthers, and you're supposed to be wide awake, and you're supposed to, whatever our differences of opinions, and you don't like Scotty Hottie, to the people that don't. I mean, obviously the people that are listening to me in chat here do like me. Hello. Hello, you. But to anyone that, like, you know, different opinion, it doesn't matter about me, in my opinion, whether you like me. It's obvious that these people are doing this fucking weird narrative stuff, and you're supposed to be able to question the narrative and to be switched on and not woke. You don't like woke, do you? But, you know, awake to this sort of fakery. That's why these people get into these conspiracy theories. So, like, how anyone can let this pass and not... Maybe they're in denial, because if they have to accept this is bullshit and that these people are twisted fakes, then it's like, oh, well, you know, now I'm on the wrong side of things and I look stupid. But it's just a fact. Like, you know, you can't go around saying this is a shill and that's fake and New World Order and PSYOPs and not think these two are just fucking, like, made of post-it notes stuck to a load of fucking ham. Like, they're obviously just total BS. I suppose it's like an acid test, this is. Anyone that stands next to them and agrees with them and sucks them up, they're just fake people spreading shit on the internet. There's only two kinds of people who can stand with them: the fakes and the thick. Like, some people might not be thick, they might just understand it, but they're like, well, you know, I can't sort of call it out because I'll look I'm on the wrong side. I've got to sort of back it and, you know, stuff like that. But it's either the fakes or the thick, isn't it? Like, who else can think this is legit and normal? He just said Peter Folding found her on the set. Like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Even Peter Folding said he didn't find her. That's why everyone went home and he didn't find her. If she was still there, why did he pack up his gear and go home? Like, he left to go on the fucking Channel 5 telly programme for 3 days, came back and dug around in the woods seeing if he could dig up some packages. There were some guns found up the road. Maybe he was looking for another bag of guns. I don't know what he was looking for. He was digging around. Like, the fucking audacity. I keep saying audacity, but you're in chat a bit audacity. But, like, the audacity of this flagrant narrative push. And anyone who's into this sort of stuff, this true crime, this, like, eyes open, wide awake stuff, you know, like, don't you see people pushing narratives as shills? Like, aren't these the worst kind? Don't you feel they're smelly, sus, sniffy, sus? Like, I don't know why I feel so, like, heavy negative about this. It feels like the Emperor's New Clothes. It feels like I'm pointing at something and saying, he's naked. And everyone's going, shut up, you're naked, you're a wanker. Like, not everyone is doing that. You're all very good in my chat, you know what I mean? But, like to see just any forward push on this shit. I mean, I'm talking about our society where people have been rioting, you know? To see any forward push on this shit and people just suck it up. Like, you know, if you think this is good, I've got a bridge to sell you. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he wasn't allowed to die.
Well, listen, all I'm saying is, if you're into this channel, you'll definitely like Luke's content, so make sure you go and check it out. But look,
well, if you've had a lobotomy, then you will also enjoy your second lobotomy.
Listen, we're focusing on the Madeleine McCann theory and everything surrounding the car and the sniffer dogs and how this evidence could have just been so easily tossed away, because it seems like it is...
Well, that's regurgitating some old nonsense from ages ago for another 20 minutes of content then, is it? So, I might stick this on the end of what we just did, because what I just said counts, but I'm just going to quickly see if this is... like, because I don't
they
think...
are, boy and girl. I think they are. Now, I got a comment... So on this video I did with Jon, I'm getting comments all the time, as you're aware with.
Oh my god, now you're influenced by random comments on a video, so yeah, skip on from that.
Wow.
Despaired.
Yeah, despaired. Is it true that sometimes you despaired? And another one, this is kind of twofold, this one. I'm going to roll two into one. Is that when Kate found Maddie to not be there.
Right, so what's happened is here that they did an interview with Kate and she didn't answer any of the questions. She did no comment to all of them. So there are 48 unanswered questions, and that's the narrative of the police that they were trying to question her on, but no comment to all of them. So there's nothing to be gained from any of it, other than maybe sort of an insight into the way the police might have been thinking. The Portuguese police. So there's no like evidence of anything there, because she said no comment to everything.
In their head, all of this. And I don't know. This is so Alan, this is, isn't it? Let's talk it over for another hour and a half, and then at the end go, I just don't know. He's got 4 triangles on his hand like the Illuminati. He's got a tattoo of the Illuminati on his hand. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? I'm not saying he is Masons or anything, but he's got a fucking weird tattoo of the Illuminati, and half the people would look at that and just say that's enough, wouldn't they? But like, seem to want to follow these people into the gates of hell.
From the height of the back of
all I can think is that the people who do want to follow these people are themselves involved in some pretty fucking horrible stuff. They're some pretty horrible people themselves, and they're all just like protecting each other. Like, you know, the Jon Wedger crew enjoy it together. Doesn't look right to me with his Bram Stoker's Dracula fucking glasses on the telly. He's on the fucking, you know, it's the night time. I don't like. These people do not look like the sort of, like, you imagine like you walk into a pub and these two wave at you from the other side of the pub and say, oh, over here, come and stand with us and have a drink. And you've got the option of going and standing anywhere else in the pub, even with people you've never met before. I'm not going to go and stand with these two. I just couldn't make myself do it. I'd just be like, yeah, I'm just going to, you know, maybe wait till like other people turn up and, you know, there's a bit more of a group. So if I do have to socialise in the same area, I'm not directly just the 3 of us. I don't want anyone seeing the 3 of us stood next to each other. I think it would look bad on me. I just don't think I just can't. This isn't right. I'm so, like, do you know what? I am eggy about this now. I am. I've had enough of it. I'm not going to watch any more of this. I'll cut it for YouTube. I'll stay on stream now and we can chill out and wind down, because I'll cut it for YouTube. Like, I don't have to live in this world where this dog shit angers me day to day. I had to sort of grow out of my argumentative political phase in my early 20s. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need this to make my life worse. This isn't my fight right now. We've made society better by voting more for the Labour, and we're hoping for these changes to go in as more public money comes in. And, you know, it's summer and we're all just trying to chill. Like, I don't want this shit on my doorstep. Take your shit. I feel like I've been racially abused by fucking Nazis who have left shit on my doorstep. I don't want it. It feels horrible. Go and take your fucking dog shit sandwich and go and take it yourselves away. The world doesn't want you right now. You know, the world doesn't want you right now. So you be good for YouTube, and if you can't be good, I mean, for you, obviously I want you. I don't. If these choppers, you know, we'll get together and we'll have a good time. I feel like they need to redo Glastonbury. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we need to just say, all right, look, things are going a bit negative. We're going to have Glastonbury again in 2 weeks, and we're not inviting Coldplay. So it's going to be much, much better. Please come, and we'll all have a good time. You know, it's just like, I feel like that's supposed to be our summer in the UK. Talk about British values. You know, like, just all people coming together, having a good time, all different bands from all different cultures, the world stage, the crooner, the rock band, like, god damn it, even Coldplay, but not Coldplay. But, like, you know, like, what, these people have no place in our society. Evil, manipulative, sad, vindictive, nasty, and all this, like, ganging up together, like, what's going on is just pathetic. Like, you know, these people all turn around and stab each other in the back as well. You know that, yeah? Luke's jumping into bed with a load of snakes, so he's going to get bitten, isn't he? Like, these aren't good people. They're welcome to each other. Fucking, they're welcome to each other. I've got to stop it. You be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty. Alright, that's gone. I don't have to worry about that anymore. We were watching this man eat chicken,